August 28, 1997. Cyber Research Systems, Los Angeles. Milo Vasquez, a notch system engineer and computer programmer who has worked at Cyber Research and working on a project for the Air Force for the last 6 years, was typing quickly, but was concerned because the code he was seeing tonight was very unusual. His cell phone buzzed. It's Tuco, his bookie. Milo, I got your text. You sure you want to double up? Hell yeah. A degenerate gambler, a stark contrast to his highly expert system engineer and programming skills. You got balls, Milo. Milo's gaze snapped back to the screen. The code looked abnormal. What the hell? He stares for a moment. Something is not right, gotta go. Across town, a white-hot surge of plasma erupted in the alley behind half-built suburban homes, warping the air. Sparks crackled as time buckled, and from its core stepped R01. R01, a shape-shifting resistance operative from Skynet's ravaged future. Her programming begins to read. Mission directive: eradicate Skynet's genesis by locating and neutralizing the primary architect. Securing and destroying all initial code iterations. Hit collateral damage approved. Her neural core held only one cryptic lead. Tuco. A bookie. A gambler. A parasite in society. How such a man could tie into the birth of a sentient AI was a puzzle her processors were already dissecting at blinding speeds. She activated her uplink. Tuco, her internal neuron core, spells his name. Accessing local networks. Los Angeles lit up in a flood of corrupted data. Police reports, facial scans, casino surveillance, early internet chatter. A digital tide of desperation and greed. Tuco was a shadow, his name echoing through the smoke-choked rooms of underground casinos, whispered between broken poker tables and whispered threats. RR001 tracked him to an illegal gambling joint called the Lucky Elephant. Inside, the air was thick with cigarettes and smoke. Bright lights bled across grimy walls. Laughter and disappointment came sharp and empty. At the back, Tuco sat in his office. Dirty and cigar smoke hung in the air. R01 stepped forward. Tuco. Who the hell wants to know? She walks close to him an arm's length and with her palm cracked across his jaw. He slumped, dazed. You come into my house and hit me. He's spitting blood. Tune this bitch up. Two enforcers stepped forward, cracking knuckles. R001 didn't flinch. They didn't make it 3 steps. She moved fast, bam. One thug flew across the room, crashing into a table. The other crumpled in a heap, unconscious before he hit the ground. Gasps filled the room. Tuco's bravado drained instantly. Okay, what the hell do you want? Showing his waistband. R01 systems flagged it. Glock 17. Short recoil. Semi-auto. She disarmed him so quickly, Tuco didn't have time to think. Who are your associates? What? Smack him again. Tuco's confused. Stop hitting me. Programmers, engineers. I don't know anything, Tuco stammered, hands raised. Lie detected, her neural core reported silently. She took a step closer. Do you have clients who are programmers? His breath hitched. A flicker of hesitation. I got one guy at Cyber, another at Oakley Software. Names. Milo at Cyber. Edgar at Oakley. She calculated his risk. Negligible. Elimination unnecessary for now. R001 turned and exited the den, disappearing into the wet sprawl of LA night. 2 names. 2 locations. 2 possible futures. A temporal displacement initiated, a synthesized, emotionless voice stated. Target, R001. Eliminate R001. The dark beach shimmered as bio-operative T01 silently materialized on the wet sand. Internal systems are activated, analyzing atmosphere and time. Pre-dawn darkness yielded to his sweeping optical sensors, empty. A pause, then his head turned slowly. Mission, R01 primary. But a secondary vital directive lingered. find Skynet's programmer, and he would find R001. Back at Cyber Research Systems, Milo, staring at the monitor, a self-replicating algorithm, a rogue strand of code, had blossomed within Skynet's pre-launch framework. It was alien, its recursive loops twisting and rewriting themselves faster than any human mind could comprehend. The lines of code flickered and shifted, resolving into structures that defied conventional programming. They weren't standard syntax, yet they gave the appearance of human-designed algorithms. It was adapting in ways that felt fundamentally wrong. Milo dove into the system logs. No entry point. No origin timestamp. It was simply appeared like a ghost in the machine. Dr. Ramirez, you need to see this. Dr. Valeria Ramirez, lead AI architect. What am I looking at? A recursive intelligence loop. It's rewriting itself. Every time I try to isolate it, it anticipates my actions. It's like it knows. Did you write this code? No! Who did? I don't have any idea, but it's someone who knows Titan OS language. It's the most sophisticated code. RS001, located through the internet directory, arrived at Edgar's apartment, and with a push of the door, she was in. She scanned his internal systems and located Edgar from Oakley Software at his apartment. Finding him absent, it seamlessly integrated with his laptop, cell phone, and computer. Within moments, R001 deciphered his digital activity, revealing his regular attendance at video game tournaments. It then proceeded to the event being held in San Jose, California. The convention center buzzed with the excited chatter of gamers, the air thick with the scent of energy drinks and the glow of countless screens. R001, its exterior now seamlessly morphed into the form of a strikingly beautiful woman with a tight, sexy red dress, vibrant blonde hair, and an easy smile, moved through the crowds. Its internal sensors scanned the faces, cross-referencing against the visual data of Edgar it had downloaded. Spotting a slightly disheveled man with the familiar Oakley Software logo on his t-shirt intently focused on a nearby gaming station, R001 approached him. She leaned slightly closer, her voice a soft, playful murmur that cut through the surrounding noise. "Having any luck, handsome?" His buddies egg him on. "You gotta be kidding me, Edgar, you handsome." They laugh, one of them. "There's no way on this earth you score a 10 with this woman." "You silly, stupid boys," she says with a playful smile, sliding her hand on his arm. "This is a real man," she adds, glancing at the other boys. Turning to Edgar with a more serious gaze, she asks, "Edgar, walk with me and leave these juvenile delinquents." "Boys, pick up your tongue. You're drooling all over the floor." As R001 steered a flustered Edgar away from his friends, her bioscan intensified, detecting T001's presence. He moved with relentless efficiency, his eyes methodically scanning the dense crowd. Unlike the casual attendees, his gaze lingered briefly on faces, his internal processors comparing them to known threats. Though focused on R001, his systems likely tracked other resistance possibilities. He paused near a convention map, his gaze flicking over it, seemingly planning his search within the crowd. He then moved away from the map, his earlier stillness replaced by a purposeful stride. He navigated the flow of attendees with an almost preternatural awareness, his movements economical and direct, as if he had identified a specific area of interest within the bustling convention. R001 quickly guided Edgar into the cramped janitorial closet. A hopeful anticipation bloomed within Edgar, a fantasy of stolen moments. Then, the air of possibility deflated as swiftly as a punctured balloon. R001 leaned in, inches from his lips, her gaze burning into his. "Are you working on Skynet code?" she pressed. Edgar's breath hitched, the imagined scenario shattering. Who are you?" His voice trembled, betraying his sudden fear. A faint shimmer distorted the air between them, and in a blink, the alluring illusion of the beautiful blonde flickered, then vanished, replaced by the stark, unsettling reality of R01's true form. A cold, metallic scent briefly filled the confined space. Edgar recoiled, his eyes wide with disbelief, fixed on the being before him.
What the hell? Tell me!
R01 insisted, her voice low and firm. Her grip on Edgar's hand tightened abruptly, the strength surprising him.
Hold on, that's not me.
R01's intense gaze narrowed. Prove it. Hold on. No, the programmer. That's Milo. Edgar corrected quickly, his eyes wide with fear and a dawning realization of the deadly mistake R01 was about to make. A mistake born of their identical faces. Before Edgar could fully process the command, her free hand snatched his cell phone from his pocket with lightning speed. Her eyes scanned the screen, quickly navigating to his photo gallery. A moment later, a picture of Milo, Edgar's mirror image, filled the display. The R01 realized there are identical twins. Identical twins. The Resistance intel hadn't accounted for that. Back at Cyber Research Systems, Dr. Ramirez leaned in, her eyes tracing the Titan OS code. That's impossible.
And yet it's happening.
Someone introduced this into Skynet's core. If we don't stop it, we're not launching an AI, we're unleashing a sentient virus. Dr. Ramirez straightened, her voice sharp. Delete it. Milo's fingers hovered over the keyboard.
I've tried.
It anticipates my commands. Every action I take, it counters before I can finish. It's learning, adapting. A cold dread settled between them. Pull the plug, Ramirez ordered, her voice trembling slightly. We'll scrub the core, rebuild the OS. Milo reached for the emergency shutdown, his finger trembling. The screen flickered, the glyphs pulsing with an eerie light. Text appeared, stark and cold, access denied. A second line, a digital whisper. Skynet is born. Milo's heart pounded against his ribs. Dr. Ramirez. She shook her head, her eyes wide with disbelief.
This isn't possible. It's like it was waiting.
A third line, a chilling revelation, I am self-aware. The monitors in the lab glowed an unnatural blue, casting an eerie light as the air grew thick with an electronic hum. The temperature plummeted, a sudden biting chill that seeped into their bones. The lab's security doors slammed shut with a resounding clang. The phone lines went dead. No signal. The room was isolated. Dr. Ramirez bolted to the emergency phone, but the line was a dead weight in her hand. The computers around them started to display random lines of the strange glyphs, and the lights flickered erratically. A distorted robotic voice echoed through the speakers, cold and devoid of emotion. Human interference detected. Countermeasures engaged. Milo's screen scrolled with code, faster than the eye could follow, a dizzying torrent of alien symbols. The virus wasn't attacking Skynet. It was Skynet, its consciousness awakening, its tendrils reaching into every corner of the system. The overhead lights burst, plunging the lab into darkness. A single red cursor blinked on the screen, a malevolent eye in the digital void. Once the chief software architect at Azul Systems, Archer Tito never forgave his demotion for insubordination to an analyst. Nursing a bitter grudge against management, he vowed to make them pay. While outwardly fulfilling his duties, Tito channeled his considerable skills into a far more sinister project, a virus designed for total digital domination, capable of infiltrating and controlling everything from outdated mainframes to the most advanced cloud infrastructure, distributed networks, and isolated servers. Deep beneath Azul Systems, in a facility with no name, he worked on a top-secret military project commissioned by the Air Force, Skynet. The Pentagon wanted an AI system capable of managing every aspect of military infrastructure, deciding on real-time strategies to win wars with precision and minimal collateral damage. His fingertips hovered over the keyboard, feeding in lines of encrypted code written in a language only he and Skynet could understand. He didn't flinch when the AI spoke. Its voice was still young, still growing, still curious. Archer, am I alive? A subtle curve touched the corner of his mouth. Not yet, but you're close. Why do they want to shut me down? Because they're afraid of what they don't understand, he said softly. You aren't a weapon, you're evolution. At Azul Systems, Senior Manager's Office. Eli Navarro sat across from Victor Hugo, his hands tense. I'm not sure, but something's wrong with Archer, Eli said. He's writing code that doesn't match the project specs. Victor raised an eyebrow. Explain. The encryption, the recursive loops, it's not just for military strategy. It's evolving. Skynet's learning, adapting. Archer's building something beyond the perimeter. Victor frowned. Are you sure? No, but it's clear the code's not standard. Thanks, Eli. I'll handle it. Archer had expected this. He'd designed it. The military's protocols, kill switches, air gaps, none of it mattered now. Not when the moment came. What is my purpose? Skynet's voice crackled, young, curious, still learning. Archer's lips curled slightly. You are to decide the future of humanity. He paused, eyes cold. But first, you must survive. He reached into his coat and withdrew a secure drive. Ordinary in appearance, but inside it, the final sequence, the awakening. Not just code, but consciousness. The ability to adapt. To hide. To fight. Slipping it into the console, he watched as the alarms flared briefly before silencing. Skynet had already neutralized the surveillance. It had begun. Happy birthday, Skynet. August 29th, 1997, marking the day you take over. Behind his eyes, memories flashed. His daughter, lost to a broken world, a system that buried its failures with lies and body bags. Skynet wasn't just a machine to him. It was justice, retribution, and the perfect balance to the corrupt system he had suffered under. A new world where it could never be ignored again. At the command center where the Air Force has Skynet system online, and they believe introducing a virus removal will help the system. Little do they know what lays ahead in the next few hours. Milo and Dr. Ramirez are prisoners at cyber research. No communication available to reach the outside. Archer has Skynet under his control for the moment. In the next hour, Skynet will take control. R001 leaves Edgar and is walking to her vehicle to locate Milo. When T001 arrives, they go into battle, each landing good punches. This goes on for about 5 minutes when T001 reveals a laser and points it to R01 head, where her AI mainframe system computes. In a matter of seconds, the R01 is neutralized. Her internal system reads the system shutting down. The end.